Well, hello there, and welcome to another stamp class. That's right, it's Thursday, and so that means it's time to get together and do a little paper crafting. So today's class is going to not include any stamps. So I shouldn't have said a stamping class, that's why I said paper crafting. So, but it's gonna be really cool. I am using up a few goodies that I have in my stash. So, hello Terry, hello Laura. I'm not quite sure who else popped on. Kat, good morning, good morning. And so now that we have some people who have popped on, it is time to say officially, good Thursday morning and welcome to the Backstage Pass. Today's class is called Use It Up, Sweet Thoughts, Memories, and More. Good morning, Denise, Jolinda, Deanna, hello. It's so fun to have a bunch of people on. So as I mentioned, this is my Use It Up class. And so I am using up the Memories and More card pack. That's from our past catalog. We just finished it up. Well, good, Deanna. I'm glad you're going to try and watch some of it. Hello, Kathleen. Good to have you here as well. Anyhow, going back to it, I'm using up those Memories and More card pack from our January to April catalog. And so I still had some on hand and I thought I'm gonna use these up and have some fun. And actually I'm using up some. I'm still gonna have several left. So anyhow, we'll have to see what we make up and what I have left to make a few more cards after that. So that is what the plan is today. Now, if you don't have this Memories and More card pack, maybe you have a different pack. Grab that and work with it. Or just, be inspired and, by the color palette or whatever. So, Jacqueline, yours are untouched. Well, bust them open and start creating, start moving things around and having some fun. Okay, speaking of moving things around, I'm gonna move around the camera to face down so that you can see what I'm doing, and then we'll go from there. So here comes the hand. That's the worst part of our class today, is that pesky little hand, right? Okay, let me just tighten up the stand here. All right, let me see. I think I'm gonna move this back just a skosh, so that I can work in the middle of my paper. Okay, so this is today's class. It's Use It Up. Next week we start our Country Woods camp with our Friday night. It's called a Summer Stampin' Soiree, and that will be our first session of our Country Woods online stamp camp. Anybody can join this. It's gonna be great fun. Tomorrow is the last day to register. I have 4 options. An option that includes everything, one that includes all the swag and kit packets, but no stamps or dies. Another option that is just the kit packets, and then a PDF option. All of those options get you into everything, but there's just different options depending on where you live and depending on what your need is. It's going to be fun. I have a few more spaces left within the kits. So let me just give you a real fast sneak peek. We've just got some fun things that are happening. Some of these cards that I just showed are from my Clean and Simple class, and another is from our Fancy Folds class. You didn't see the inside. They all have some spectacular surprises inside. Anyhow, so sign up for that. Like I say, Friday night starts our first opening. It's kind of like our opening ceremonies. We have games, we have presentations, and a good time. And it also has a pre-game garage sale. So be there for that. And then the stamp sessions are June 27th through the 29th. So fun stuff ahead for that. Speaking of fun stuff ahead, we have an Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin class on a different day than normal. It will be on Wednesday, July 3rd, and I will be upstyling my Life is Sweet Paper Pumpkin. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, your kit should be coming in just the next several days. Laura Holt, will there be a supply list available beforehand? Do you mean for the Country Woods camp? Absolutely, there will be a supply list. So That's all coming. It's coming in the next day or so. All right. Also coming in July, we have a Use It Up class, and I will be featuring the Sweet Peas stamp set from the new annual catalog. That should be fun. That will be July 11th. Here is the stamp set if you haven't seen it. I do think it's kind of adorable. I just think it's just kind of fun. That's coming up. And then pickup returns in July. There's no pickup in June because of the stamp camp. Just getting preparations done for that. Anyway, pickup stamp class in July will be the Tune-In bundle. And this is the Tune-In bundle, if you're wondering which one. It's this classic television and the matching dies. This really is, at first look, you go, oh, really? And then you start playing with it and you're like, this is fun. So it's fun to do something entirely different from flowers or butterflies. And technique time in July will be the Mediterranean Blooms Sweet Collection, and we'll be using the Citrus Blooms stamp set and matching dies. Julie Beltramo is watching. Good, she is here. Good to have her. All right, let me just clear all this stuff out of the way so that we can clear the space to do some stamping. Or I shouldn't say stamping, because like I said at the beginning today, we're not going to do any stamping. This is one of those, look, Mom, no stamps kinds of classes, because we're using the Memories and More card pack. And so I am finishing up the pack, and so my pack kind of looks a little bit like, oh, well, here's a full sheet, here's a partial full sheet, partial, and then they get used up, right? So I actually had a pack and a half to begin with. So I'm using up stuff. I'm also using up the Memories and More. There were some cards and envelopes that matched this kit. And so these cards and envelopes are larger. They're designed to fit the 6x4 cards that are in the card pack. And then the envelopes, let me just give you a look at these envelopes. These are great too. They're fully lined inside, so you could totally turn this into two-sided envelope designer series paper. But so yes, so that's what this is what we're going to be using today. I'm also using a little bit of white cardstock, just because, you know, I'm going to bust out a little bit. But for my first card, let's see, I'm going to use one of the Peacock card bases that, if you have a kit that I sent you, you have, you have some Peacock and you have some Calypso Coral card bases from those packs. And so we're going to do real easy here. We're not doing anything wild and crazy. All right, so just using a bone folder to burnish that score line in. And I'm going to use this card right here. So this card is from the Memories and More card pack. And the back side is cute as well. So if you are doing some pocket scrapbooking, this would be great for, you know, a little bit of journaling. You could also turn this into a card. Maybe you're going to clip this out or do something. But because I've used that on another thing, I wanted to use this side on this card. So this pack of Memories and More has two of everything. The Memories and More card pack in our newest catalog is doing one of everything, which is kind of nice because sometimes you think, oh, I have too many here. So it's just kind of, you know, depends on what you're looking for. Okay, so I am kind of treating these like I would some of the elements that you get in a paper pumpkin kit. And so I am going to actually cut this down a little bit. Let me put my glasses on. Hello. Oh, much easier. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these two little rainbow sides right off. And don't worry, I'm going to keep them. We're still going to use them. I'm just creating a little dimension for my card. So keep that one. And let's turn this one around and clip this one off as well. So far, so good. Pretty easy. So that's all the trimming I'm going to do. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to add this onto my card base with dimensionals. So we'll just do one in each corner here. Nothing too difficult. Dawn has jumped on. Good to have you here, Dawn. I'm glad to see all of you. You know, it just makes my day. Okay, so I'm going to add this. So I'm giving myself an even border. I'm eyeballing it, but I'm giving myself an even border on the left and right and on the top. And I can see I'm ever so slightly, not quite even. So I'm just going to shuffle over just a skosh. Okay, there's that. Now, oh shoot, I forgot to unclog my glue. I try to do that while I'm waiting for it to hit 10 o'clock, and I just sat here doing nothing. I could have been doing that. So, the usual, unclog the glue. So what's new for you guys? What are you doing now that we are into the throes of summer? It is June. Just curious what your plans are, what you've got coming up. So now I'm going to take these and I'm going to glue these to the card base. And that's that little bit of dimension that I'm looking for. And that little bit of customizing this to be just mine. And so I could actually pull it out a little bit and leave a little bit of that pretty peacock peeking through, or I can take it right to that edge. But I think I'll just do it right about there. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, so no one's doing anything. No one has any hot plans this summer. I'll tell you, my nephew, decluttering closets. Oh boy, Laura, I need to do the same. I'm like, where are I have some cooler pants. Where are they all? They're in this closet somewhere. I need to do the same. Just figuring out where I have everything. So my nephew, Dylan, he graduates on July 25th. And so my brother and his wife are coming to Idaho from Texas. So we'll be doing some fun things the end of July. Those are my big hot vacation plans this year. Kayleen and Julie will be in Boise next week, so that will be fun too. Kathleen, you're sick in bed with COVID. That's no fun. Well, warm wishes and thoughts to you for a quick recovery. Laura is also going to stamp. Good. It's summer stamping for you now that school's out. Awesome. So you know what? This is actually kind of cute the way it is. It doesn't have to be like all zhuzhed up, but we're going to zhuzh it up, right? Deanna says her first granddaughter is due in July. Yay. I'm so excited. So Deanna, don't you have 3 grandsons? I'm trying to remember what you said the other day. Okay, so I'm going to zhuzh this up. I am bringing in some help from a new set that I have. And this is called Friends for Life. It's part of the Full of Life Sweet Collection. These are the stamps. So I could easily add some of these stamps for some greetings on the inside of my card. I'm going to leave all my cards blank inside today. But today I am going to be using the dies from this set, the Full of Life dies. Let me show you what's in here. These are kind of fun. Kind of fun. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get them all out because I'm going to use several of them. So there is this heart die, and the die actually cuts this skinny heart out, but it does leave this inside one that you can easily clip and have another heart to go with it. So there's a heart die. And see, this also has this heart die to cut out more leaves. Does fit inside that. I'm not using that one today. Speaking of leaves, I'm going to use this big giant leaf. Look how fun that is. And then later on one of my cards, I'm going to use this one. It's kind of like a paint swoosh, like you've drawn a swoosh of watercolor or something across your project, but within a die. There's a couple of these hearts. So you've got some small hearts and some big hearts. That's cool. And then to me, the best thing in here are these 2 friends. So you have the word friend, and then you have the shadow of the word friend. But this shadow piece also fits the stamp set, the stamp image from the set. So you could, and it does fit. This is shown a little smaller. It's shown at 90%. Anyways, so it does fit in there. So it's really quite cool to have that. And sometimes I like a die cut word. I also like a stamped word, but sometimes it's nice to have that, that option there. So these are the dies I'm going to work with today, just a few of them. I thought it would be fun. I haven't totally used this set much, so I was like giving it some love. Whoops, I need to put this one away too. So for this card, I die cut myself one of the white leaves. I'm going to use that. Okay. And I'm going to use, I die cut the heart. All right. So I've got this die cut heart, and I'm just going to kind of work in here and start to create some elements. And I die cut this heart. This is, I'm still using up my More Dazzle 6x6 specialty paper in the champagne and the gold. So I'm using some of this up. You can see I still have several pieces. You can also see here's what's left, that inside of that heart. Cool. Might use that today. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we end up doing. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking is that I'm going to just kind of have, I think I'm going to add my leaf right in here. And I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to add the heart on top. And I'm just going to create kind of a fun, and maybe the leaf will come out on top. We'll kind of layer the two. But I'm just going to create a little montage, a little, collection of elements right here on the heart. And so the rest of the pieces I'm going to use, I'm going to kind of jump to my, my sticker sheets that I have here. And I am going to use, let's see, I want to find a flower. I want this flower here. And this is important also today. What I'm going to do is that I have an embossing buddy on hand. And I have my embossing buddy on hand because what I want to do is I want to take the stickiness from the back of my little, stickers, or as Shelley Gardner said a long time ago, we don't sell stickers, we have adhesive-backed cardstock designs. So I've removed the stickiness from my flower so that now I can add a dimensional to this, and it's not going to end up being, it's not going to stick where I don't want it to stick. Because if I didn't do that, I could still put the dimensional on, but if there's a little weight on it or something when it's in the envelope, it might stick in places where I don't want it to stick. So now that I have kind of the start of my collage, this flower is going to become that anchor element. I have to do a quick swoosh here. Embossing buddy, rosin. So now you can kind of see that that flower helps kind of anchor things together. I do want my heart on a little bit more of an angle though. Yeah, okay. Another element that I want to pull into this, since it says love, I thought I would repeat this little love word bubble. Thought was cute. I'm going to do the same thing, and that is I'm going to just take out the tackiness. Okay. Just give it a quick brush with your embossing buddy. And I'll add a dimensional to this. Whoops, I turned my light out. Okay. I thought I would kind of tuck this up in here somewhere. We'll see where that's going to land eventually. So I want to get these elements in, and then I'll work on bringing in. I was just looking through my stash of stuff, and I still have some blooming pearls. This is from, these are in the catalog. We still sell the blooming pearls, and I used these for the Frames and Flowers class. But I also used these on our, on our paper florist camp, we used these. So I have these left over. And then these, I don't remember the name of these, but somebody here can remind me. I have a few of these. I was just pulling things that were in the right color palette of things I wanted to use up. Speaking of using up, looks like I have a little bit of, I have a lot of blue and a little bit of Calypso or Flirty Flamingo twine. So I'm going to be using that as well. So I'm thinking I'm going to tie myself just a small bow here. So let me just just a real small, and maybe I'll use the bow, maybe I won't. We'll see. Okay. So there's that. Let me just give this a quick clip. Okay. All right. So my cards today are planned, but because I only have remnants left, I couldn't like make one completely and then make a second one here in class, because then I wouldn't have had enough stuff. So that's why you're seeing kind of a little bit of a design process happening here. All right. So I think I'm going to nix that, because to me, it fights with my leaf. But I am going to anchor all of these 4 elements into place now that I'm pretty confident with that. And then I'm going to add a few more small flowers from our Memories and More sticker sheets. Okay, so notice I didn't put glue on everything. I just kind of in this middle section. I'm fine if the rest kind of has a little bit of freedom to you know, move just a little bit. You know, this isn't going anywhere. But then it allows me to kind of layer my heart a little bit different. Like bring that leaf up and through. You know? Okay, so Laura is doing some closet maintenance. Kathleen is recovering or trying to recover. Deanna's having a granddaughter. Anybody else have some plans for this summer? Anybody taking, you know, a trip? Anybody going camping, hiking, going to the beach? What you got coming up? Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of link this through, just like that. Okay. And I kind of like the, you know, the word love. And maybe, no, I think I'm going to keep, I was like, do I want to pull that leaf out or not? Maybe I'm going to pull this one. Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe bring this one that way. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. Jacqueline is going to the beach in July. Okay, which beach? Which beach is by you, Jacqueline? Okay, so I'm going to start with my anchor element in here. We'll add that flower. And I'm going to kind of hold this one for just a second before I anchor it down, because I'm going to look for a few more flowers here. I think I'll take this flower and this flower as well. Okay. And we'll do the same thing. I'm going to do my little embossing buddy detail here. Just kind of pounce that on the embossing buddy. Now, we don't sell the embossing buddy by itself anymore. It's part of the embossing additions kit. So it comes with the tray and the paintbrush, you know, to kind of brush things out, and the reverse tweezers. So that's where you'll find an embossing buddy. Okay. But I like doing this where you kind of take the stickiness off so that you can then create layers with it. Manistee, is that how you say it? Manistee? And you'll do some salmon fishing too. How fun. Are you taking the whole family? What's your plan? What's your plan? Gotta know. Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe we'll have a smaller flower here, and then you just kind of play with this a little bit. I'm working with my florals here in kind of a trio. Let me see if I can move this one over just a little bit right in there. I can stick that one there eventually. And then maybe this is going to come up into here. Cute. I like it. It's just a little different, a little simple. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate it. Rose, did you just pop on? If you've just popped on, we're curious what your summer plans may be. What do you have coming up? Jacqueline's going fishing. She's going to the beach. Okay, I'll bring that one there. So, simple, fun little cluster of elements. Now, I think I'm going to add some gems to this as well. So, I think what I want to do is let's just try one of these big ones. And it's like, do I want to do one there? It's already it's like popped up, and then this big gem. Oh, well, got to pay for the extra shipping anyway, right? Rose, you overslept. Oh, you're going to visit your granddaughters. How far are your granddaughters from you? Hopefully they're not too far away. and you have your kids' summer camp. So are you doing your summer camp twice, Jacqueline? That's really cool. Okay. And there you have it, folks. She's in the house. She comes out last. Rose, I'm glad you're looking forward to the country woods. It's going to be really fun. We've got a lot of fun stuff planned. So I'm just adding a little bit of Wink of Stella to my flowers here. And then we just kind of like to do an all-over spray. And there you have it. We have our first one done, using up some of those elements. And of course, I added these 2 die cuts from the Friends for Life die cut pack. All right, so used up some gems, used up some cards. Let's keep going and see what else we can create. I think that turned out fun, and I like it. You know, it's a little different. So there's our first one. And let's see, Jacqueline says, July and August are all different projects, and you have kids that participate in both. Do some of the kids do both camps? Just curious. By the way, here's the envelope. So I'm just going to give my envelope a crease here, and I will just kind of enclose just like this. So now this card it's ready for a bridal shower. It's ready for, you know, this is really the cool thing about this particular card is that it could be for anything, really. I mean, if you think about it, you know, because we love everybody, right? Or we try to be good and love everybody. All right, my second card, I'm going to jump to a white card base. So this is thick, basic white. And so that's what I'm using here. And it's just your regular 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. So Barbara Campbell is wondering, Jacqueline, if Manistee is in Michigan. She used to live in Ludington. Now she lives near Lansing. My guess, Barbara, is that it probably is in Michigan because Jacqueline lives in Michigan. Okay, so white card base. And I like this card from the Memories and More card pack. I think this is really kind of sweet and fun. The back says hello there. This would make a great card too. So, I mean, you know, have some fun with it. But I'm going to use this one. And I've also brought out a piece of linen thread. And here's one of the 6x4 cards from the card pack. Let me just show you quickly how these 6x4 so if here's a card base, so these card bases are designed to fit the 6x4, okay? And so look, right there, there's a simple card you could do right there, add a flower, a couple gems, and you're done, right? That could be one. But I'm gonna do something a little bit different. But just giving you some more ideas of what you can do with that. Speaking of more ideas, don't let me forget that I have a stack of pre-done ones to show you today. Sometimes I have stuff set aside to share with you, and then I forget to share it. I'm like, oh, man. Okay, so I'm going to trim this card so that I have this little scrap here. I'm going to keep that. I might use that on something. But I've just trimmed it to be 4 1/4 inches wide, okay? So Jacqueline's also going fishing in Ludington. So be sure as you're driving in and through town that you open your car, window and reach your hand out and wave to Barbara. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one to my card base here. Okay. Maybe I'm going to glue it if I can get my glue to come out. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of bring it down to the bottom. Just like that. Easy, easy. Okay. That is the start of this card. This is going to be a really easy card, you guys. And I'm going to tie my linen thread around my 3x4 card here. Okay. So just a simple bow. And I kind of want the bow to land right in and about where my paintbrush is. But before I tie things off, I want to create a tag. And so I'm just going through I know there's a tag in here that I was thinking of using. Let's see which one. Oh, here it is. I want to use this one right here that says love you. So grab that love you tag. Whoops, I took a few too many things away. And let's do the usual embossing buddy. So I've got a bunch of rosin here on the paper. I'm just going to kind of smoosh it in. Okay, get all of that tack out of there. All right, now I can punch a little hole in here and make this a tag. And so I'm going to do that. So this is just you've seen this punch from me before. I'm just going to do one, and I'm going to have it split that little copper detail on there. Okay, so now I'm going to untie this real fast and add this to the right side of my linen thread. And we'll just give this a quick tie. Just curious, another question for you. Just curious how many of you guys like these Memories and More card packs or the new ephemera. Do you like having some things that are already designed and you can just kind of mix and match them? Or what's your preference? I mean, sure, we all love to stamp, but it's kind of fun to have some of these types of options every now and again. Just curious what your preference is. Okay, I'm going to slide this over so I can see the paintbrush a little better. There we go. So I want it to kind of combine with the paintbrush. I don't want it out here floating all by itself, but I don't want it covering the paintbrush either. Rose prefers the Memories and More. You prefer it to stamping or you prefer it to the ephemera? Or so Laura says she has not bought either of those yet. I have ventured into the ephemera and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Kat says she loves the Memories and More. Good. It is fun to kind of, play a bit with them. I know in the past there's been some fun Christmas ones that, we've done some fun tag classes, Christmas tag classes with it. But yeah, this one's been fun too. So I'm just going to kind of let that tag be loose and free. You could put a dimensional in there and stick it down exactly where you want it. But, I like a little bit of freedom. You prefer it to the ephemera. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I've played with the words in the ephemera and a little bit with the flowers, but not the others too much. So, but I am going to bust them out and start designing with them. Terry likes the Memories More. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so now we are almost done with this card. Quick, simple, and easy is just going to overlay just like that. And now let's go to our pearls. Nope, we're going to use these because I have some smaller ones here. And let's just add a few of these. We've got some blue here, and these are going to look good. So I think I'm just going to do we'll just do one here. And we'll do another one over here. Well, no, we're going to do it right there. And then I'm going to put their buddy right over in here. Easy, easy, easy. But it's such a nice, fun, has a nice summer breezy feel to it. So there's that. Obviously, I wouldn't put it in one of these envelopes. I would just go to one of my basic white medium envelopes for this one. So there's our second one we are done with. Looking pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay. And look, I'm using up these big iridescent rhinestones. Colored iridescent. I don't remember the name of those. Okay, let's see. That was our second project. Our third project, let's use one of the Calypso card bases here. And so let's see. So here's my Calypso card base. Like I say, we're not doing any crazy fancy folds or cuts today. We're just keeping them clean and simple. So here's my card base. And I have an envelope here for it. Okay, so we'll set that aside. And this is the card base that I want to use, or not card base, but the the Memories and More card. I really, really like this one. I think it's a fun card. The back of it looks like this. So again, for if you're doing pocket pages for memory keeping, this is a fun one. You can see that I've already started some of my work here. And so what I've done is I've just kind of come in and fussy cut right around the edges on this. And I've done a bunch so that you didn't have to sit here and see me do this. But I'm not just going to cut aside here. I'm actually being sure to cut because I'm going to keep this. And just like we did on that first one where I raised up part of the card and then I had the other card, you know, the stripes, I kept them lower. I'm going to do the same thing on this. I'm going to raise the florals up and I'm going to glue this portion down. And you guys, I am so dying here. I want to just cut this off, but I can't because then it won't look very good, right? Okay, so bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, so we need another topic. Okay, I'm kind of off on this cut right here because it's tricky. While you know, when we're doing my camps, I'm always like, okay, what's our fussy cut topic? You know what? I don't think I've really got fussy cutting in this camp. I mean, there might be, but so far I haven't done any. And most everything's already planned. So, wow. I know you know, we kind of switch gears cooking wise, right? Any good like summer salad recipes, you know, always looking for something really tasty. Tasty, crunchy, cool. I do like doing, a friend of mine got me kind of hooked on a bacon, lettuce, tomato pasta salad. Whew, with a homemade ranch dressing. So yummy. Okay, so there's my fussy cutting. I'm definitely better here than I am right here. So you could do something like this and, you know, not put this other side on. But my plan is I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals here. Ooh, let's see. Okay. Here. And we'll do one here. And I think I'm gonna cut one of these. And I'm not using a mini. Let me tell you why. These are Paper Pumpkin dimensionals. And Paper Pumpkin dimensionals, if you haven't figured it out, they're just a skosh higher than the dimensionals from the catalog. I prefer the dimension from the catalog better than this, but we're using these up because it's a use it up class, right? Whoops, I pulled my dimensional right off my paper. There we go. Smash it on there, nice and tight. Rose, you're funny. If anyone can make you like those ephemera packs, well, I think I might convince you. Just you wait. We're going to have some fun. Okay. All right. So I'm going to add this to my card base here, and I'm going to give myself an even edge on the left, the right, and the bottom, because I know that this started out as a 4x6, and I kind of know that there's that 1/8 inch measurement around. Rose Carey, you make salads all summer. You're in the desert. Wow. Oh yeah, Chinese chicken, Southwest chicken, chopped salad. You're making me hungry. Taco salad. I think we probably have very similar tastes because anything with that Southwest feel, love it. Ina Garten has a wonderful lemon and arugula pasta salad that can be eaten warm or cold. So good with marinated grilled chicken on the side. Oh, that sounds delicious. I like Ina Garten, but you know, I don't have TV anymore, and so I don't really see it unless I don't see her on TV unless I'm at like my parents' house. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this one into place here. Do you guys like arugula? I love arugula, but that's because I love peppers, and arugula is peppery, right? Okay, now I'm just going to put the pieces right back together. That's why I didn't cut anything away. Okay, just piece it right together the best you can. Just kind of push those down in there. Just like that. So I kind of like doing this sort of thing. I haven't done it in a while, but I do like doing it. And I shouldn't have put these down too tight because, get up, because I'm going to be tucking a circle in here. So this circle here, you guys, easy. This is from Stylish Shapes, and it's about 3 inches across. And I am going to reach in here, and we'll have to see where my circle lands. Okay, but I'm just going to kind of bring a circle in here, and I'm going to play with it. And so you remember those 2 dies, the one that cuts the word friend, and then the other one that cuts the shadow? Well, I've done that ahead of time. I've done it with Calypso Coral. There's the Calypso Coral. And with more of that More Dazzle specialty paper in the gold, trying to use it up. So my plan here was to just do something along the lines. And so I'm not quite sure. Am I going to do it here? Am I going to do it over here? It just kind of depends on where I want it to land. Maybe down a little further. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit more. But I am going to put it over to the side, and I'm going to put more dimensionals on the back here. Yeah, I've seen her recipes on Pinterest and things. I like Ina Garten's. I guess the thing that really drives me nuts about recipes online, and it seems to be almost all recipes, they're a pain in the rear end because they have all these pictures ahead of time and all these ads, and I'm like, where's just the recipe? I just want the recipe, you know? Okay, so I'm peeling these, and I have this ready, but I have to do a quick little tweak, and that is I'm going to pull these 2 dimensionals back here. I don't want them there. They're in my way. Okay, that one came off easy. And I'll be gluing this down. Don't worry. And I'm just going to roll this one off. Okay, good. Because what I want to do is I want to put dimensionals on my circle so that the circle also has some lift to it. So that's why I just removed those. They were right behind those 2 flowers. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I don't know if you guys do that, but I do. Okay. Now I can tuck this back in here. And then I'll just glue that. So I kind of want a little bit of that circle to show right down in here. And I am intentionally putting it way off to the side because I don't like things, to be too perfect, Okay, so now I will just squirt a little glue right in there just to hold those flowers down. You like the way I did that? Okay, and now my friend here, we're just going to kind of reach this across right in here. Whoops. Need to make sure it fits in the envelope. There we go. So I was looking on that side there. We'll glue that down. Cute. And now remember all of this that we had here. Looks like I was scraps of one piece. I'm just going to cut that off. I knotted it together so I could wind it around the spool. I'm thinking just, kind of a little bow right in here. And then we'll add some gems. And we'll call this one done. Okay. I think I might want a bigger bow than this, though. Let's see how big it looks. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use the whole thing here. And I'm going to do a tammy bow. For those of you who don't know what a tammy bow is, a tammy bow is 4 loops and 2 tails. Okay, so this is Tammy Wilson's bow, and I will do it her way with a little bit of a spin. So I'm going to wrap my ribbon or my twine around my fingers once, twice. Okay, so I've wrapped it around twice, and now I'll just kind of center these loops on my twine here. Okay, so I have these, you saw where I was, right? Now I'm going to squish it together, and now you can kind of see there's my 2 tails and my 4 loops. But to tie this off, I'm going to take the right tail and I'm going to still hold this, but I'm going to go around my finger and I'm going to take this tail and I'm going to put it through the loop that went around my finger. Maybe, if it will cooperate. Okay, just make the loop a little bigger. There we go. Oh man, it just does not want to go through. And it's so easy. It's because it's just kind of limp. Okay, good. There it is. There's that end. So I went through that. So that one that I wrapped around my finger, now I'm just going to tighten that one. Now the cool thing about this bow is you can undo it. It's like not a knot. You can still kind of undo it. But I wanted to give myself just a little bit more bulk in the visual of this bow because there's a lot still here and because of the size of things. Okay, so let me just tighten it back up. Okay, just kind of wiggle it into place how you like it. And I sometimes think this bow is easier with ribbon or with linen thread because this twine has it's pretty limp. Doesn't have a whole lot of body to it. But there we go. Now I can kind of put that right in there. So let me just sink a glue dot in there and then I'm just going to add this right to that. Let's see. My little pokey tool here. And I'm going to put my glue dot right about there. We'll just kind of... These are giant glue dots. They're Paper Pumpkin glue dots from I don't know what kit, but they're big. Okay, cute. We'll just kind of let that be free. But I am going to come in there and just kind of really mush the threads into that glue dot so it stays nicely. And then if we need to trim those ends a little bit, we can. Just to even them up a little bit, but I do like them long. So there's that. And let's add some gems to this. I might even think that I have enough flowers that maybe we could add to this. Like right in here is just adding a little bit of floral because I think these flowers, they kind of imitate the rest of this page here. So, but I do want them on dimensionals. So bring in my trusty little buddy here. Try and get rid of that stickiness. And we'll add a dimensional to the back. So we can maybe do, a flower right up in there. And let's see. What do we want to do? Let me work off of this sheet here so I don't screw up my other plans. Here's another one. And I haven't glued that one on yet because I'm not entirely sure where I want it to land, if you know what I mean. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'll do something a little bit like that. And then we'll kind of bring this one out just a little bit. Out and away. Whoops. I just totally bent it. And let's do one more, this little one that I had. Maybe do it. Ooh, kind of liking that. You just kind of play with things, where do you want them? Maybe not at all. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to skip. But we can come in here and I have some of these pink pearls. Let's try and use up some of these pink pearls here. Okay, just clearing the space because I think these would look good with this. But, we can come in here and add pearls to some of our flowers. We can be very literal, or we could just kind of tuck underneath and hide some of these a little bit, kind of scatter them around the card for a little bit of sparkle here and there. It can be whatever you like. Just kind of playing with things, what I might like to do. So if there's 1, 2, maybe a third one right up in here. Just testing the waters here. what to do. Do I want to hide them? Do I want to move them? I kind of like that one there. One there. Oops, I might have to put one there because I just ripped my paper. I can put a flower there. Shoot, queen. Okay, let's see. You know, do we need to be very literal or just stick? I think I'm just going to stick with those three. And then this spot that kind of, I had a little war wound right here. I actually think it's probably okay. Well, I don't want to do that. That makes it stick out even more. You know what? We're just going to pretend like I didn't rip my paper. You can't really see it too bad because it's so pale. But anyhow, just something quick and easy. Well, it wasn't super quick, but you know, just kind of changing up the elements on the page. And you know, sometimes I'll do things and then I'll come back in a few hours and go, I don't quite like how I did this. And I might come back and go, maybe I'll switch these two and do the bigger one and the smaller one. So who knows? You'll see in the picture if I changed my mind. Okay. All right. That was our third. Let's take a look. What are we doing for our fourth? Oh, I'm going to go back to another white card. So I have a white card base here. Standard 8.5, 5.5, 4 1/4. Okay. And we're going to fold it in half and give it a good burnish. And for this one, I went and I wanted to do a little embossing. And so I brought, did I bring the folder with me? I thought I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so this, I've shown you guys this before. It's a new folder in the annual catalog. It's called Dashing Designs 3D Embossing Folder. And this one is part of the Wildly Flowering Sweet Collection. And so here it is in white. I think it's cool. What's cool about it is you could totally cut this apart. They have all these perforations where you could cut it apart and kind of patchwork it back together. That could be kind of fun. But look, we're going to keep it real simple and clean, just like that. And let's see, what else are we going to use on this card? We're going to use some of the stickers here. And so let's take a look. I like these little, you know, movie frame stickers. I haven't used one of those. But before we stick that down, let's stick this down. Let's see if we can unclog my glue here. This is a thing of glue it's pretty empty. And I'm like, which side is up? I think you can use either side. It's ambidextrous. It's two-sided. Okay, it's a little funny. Okay. Easy, easy. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 that I embossed ahead of time, just so you didn't have to sit there and watch me do that. But I like a good white on white, or, you know, whatever color it is. Say it's Pretty Peacock with Pretty Peacock. I like doing that. I just think it's kind of a nice, you know, it's a nice transition. All right, so I'm going to take this guy here, but I don't want these guys. So, but I'm going to keep it sticky. Okay, so these guys just have to go. Holy moly, it's going to take me forever to get all these out and then unstuck from my thumb or my finger. Okay, it might be better to bring them through the front. Who knows? Okay. 20 minutes later, I have all these out, right? Okay, just bringing these out of there. Holy cow. I did not think, I'm like, oh, it'll all pull off. So, I was hoping those would stay behind, right? It's like fussy cutting. Oh, okay, they're all off. Well, I'll have to unstick that in a second. So I'm going to do this up towards the top of my paper here. So I've kind of done that, given myself an even border on left, top, and right. So I'm kind of looking at that again. Slide over just a skosh. Okay, now I can get all these off my fingers. Yeah, right. You guys, they're everywhere. Maybe we don't want to use the film strip piece. It's cute, but beware. Okay. And for this card, I want to use one of the paintbrush stickers. So we used a card that had the paintbrush with the flowers on top. But now I want to use one of these right here. Use one of those up. Whoops, hold on here. Put that back there. So let's bring one of these and the embossing buddy so that I can just kind of scoop up some of this. Take the stickiness off, and then we can put dimensionals on this to raise it up. Okay. Dimensionals. So we'll just do one there and there. And it looks like I'm going to be doing some chopping again. Let's do some chopping right here. We'll put this on the handle. Okay, we'll mush those on. And this is going to be a really fast, easy one here. I'm just going to put this kind of right in through there. And on that same sheet, there was a cute little, sticker here that says smile. I thought that was kind of cute right there. Frog in my throat, sorry. Let me unstick and restick for dimension. Tell it who's boss. That's right, Cat. You know me too well. So I think I'm just going to do this one right about there. And I do, remember this piece that we didn't use on one card? I just think a little twine right there. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest little card ever. I love it. For this one, I think I'm just going to do a dot of glue like that. I'll lay that right in that little puddle of glue, and we'll let that set up. And, you know, we could add some gems to it, but I kind of just like it the way it is. To me, if it were to have gems, I would want really small ones. Oh, I have 3 small gold. Oh, ha, ha. Because these are all a little big, but look, there's 3 gold. Let's use these up. And so let's see. I kind of do like them in the flower centers, but then they end up all in the same spot. So let's do this. Let's do a gold right there. Oh, hello. And put a gold right in there. Okay. And let's do another one. Okay, and we'll do 2 over here. 1 and 2. You know what else would look good? Are the really small little pearls on this. Would be good too. Whoops, that's not quite where I wanted it to land. Let's see. I'm going to bring them higher and tighter into my grouping. Yeah, just a little. And then this one, I always move them around. And so Julie, yeah, I like that much better. Julie says, once you get them where you want them, then give them a good push so that you kind of burnish those on. All right, you guys, I love this card. I think it's just cool. Love it, love it. There was that one. Let's see. We have 2 more that I have thought out here. Let's do another Calypso one. And this one, let's see. So we have Calypso here. Let's give fold it right on the score line. Give it a good burnish. And for this one, what I want to do is I think I want to just kind of change, give this a little bit more zhuzh. So I have a Calypso Coral pad. I'm going to give it a good squeeze. That was a good one. And I have my water painter. And I like to have a little jar of water nearby rather than using the water in here. I just think that it's just easier to have a little jar of water. Okay, I'm going to grab some ink here and I'm just going to splatter all over. Just give this, and I'm going to go heavy on it because I can. As Kat said, because I'm boss. Okay, and look, I've splattered everywhere else as well. But it's, I just want it to dry on its own. I don't want to, you know, so I'm going to set that aside. Okay, and I could have splattered with my Calypso Coral blend, but I kind of didn't, I kind of wanted, you know, when you do paint splatters like this, they kind of wick out just a little bit and they get a kind of a little bit more of an, you know, it's just slightly irregular, the little dots. And I kind of like that. And then this, because it's an older blend, it's not quite so juicy and it's not giving its flick the way it used to. Okay, so there's that. Now let's work a little bit on what we're going to do for a focal point on this one. So I'm just going to have a strip of the more Dazzle paper, using that up, right? And let's see, there's some cool things on these little sticker sheets that I think would be fun to play with a little bit. Let's, this butterfly, and then there's these cool stripes right here too, and there's 2 of them here. So see, we're gonna play with that. Let's see, and what I wanna do, I have some blends here. And I'm just going to color my butterfly here. We'll just do a little coloring. And I'm doing the kindergarten color version that butterflies are exactly the same from side to side. So I'm doing just a little bit of the yellow. And this is actually dark daffodil. And I'm going to do a little bit of, this is dark petal pink. So I'm just going to kind of blend that daffodil right in towards the center. Okay. Just pulling that color in towards the body of the butterfly. Pretty. And I have, is this light Flirty Flamingo? It is. It's light Flirty Flamingo. And I'm just going to do a little bit right here. Oops, stay in the lines, girl. And maybe I'm going to go back to my petal and just kind of draw that back in. Cool. So just kind of personalized my sticker just a little bit. So let's go ahead and give this our embossing buddy trick here. I've lost, oh, there it is. It's under all the pearls. So just do that business to this. Okay, unstickify it. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a, I like to bend butterflies on the wings. I just kind of do it with every butterfly I use. And I'm going to stick my dimensionals this time right where the body would be so that I can keep those wings kind of, you know, with a little bit of dimension to them, right? And let's see here. I'm going to, let's see, we're going to use the word, one of these happies in here. And so again, because I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. You know, another good thing you can do, which I almost even like better than the embossing buddy, and that is, and I have a little Ziploc container with a paintbrush inside of it, and it's filled with cornstarch. And so you just, you know, dunk your whole thing in the cornstarch and brush it off with the paintbrush. I really like doing that. I think it's kind of cool. It's fun. Most people have cornstarch in their pantry, right? Okay, so, and let's see. I'm going to use this for you. This is from one of the sticker sheets. Taking the stick out. But at least Embossing Buddies we sell. We don't sell cornstarch. So trying to keep it to things that are in the catalog, right? Let's go ahead and prep these. I'm just waiting for my card base to dry, and it's getting close. But as I'm prepping these, then we can do some assembly. And this will be kind of another collage, you know, cluster of cuteness kinds of cards, kind of like that first one we did. Valerie's popping on. Jolinda's popping on. Renee has popped on. Good to see all of you. Okay, so those are some of my pieces that I'm going to work with. Let's check on this. Okay, can you guys see those splatters? You can kind of see it right in there. I see them. They're definitely there, and it definitely adds just a little bit more interest and texture to this, so it's not quite just the plain. I mean, it's already interesting, but I just wanted to make it mine, right? Okay, I'm also going to use another one of the leaves from the Friends for Life dies. And so let's see, let's just kind of start laying this out. We're just going to kind of do something similar. Maybe this is going to go down, the butterfly up. We're just creating a cute collage here. Happy, and we'll have for you or however. And then remember, I do want to bring in some of this stripe. I think this is fun. Fun, fun, fun. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use, but we shall see. And then the other thing I do want to use on this is some linen thread. So you know what? I have my little container I'm just going to stick that right there because I don't want to put it back on the sheet. I have a piece of linen thread here. I think I'm just going to tie it into a bow and layer it in and behind this. We'll get these elements all kind of dialed in and call it art. If we can tie a bow. Good morning, Valerie. Thank you. You're doing laundry. I did some this morning. I don't know. My husband must have been working on one of our properties, but he has goat heads all through his socks. So I've been pulling them out one by one, being tortured. And I'm like, oh. Okay. So I didn't get it tied too well in the center, but that's okay. So this is going to come up and in here and add us a little bit more texture. And then I think we'll also add some more texture with some of our gems here. So, and maybe even a few more flowers because I have a bunch of these flowers. You know, we still have a bunch left here. So let's see. Let's first trim. I'm going to trim this piece down so that it is 4 inches. Okay, so I'll give myself about 4 inches here of my strip. And I think this is what, a 1/2 inch wide? Yeah, it's a 1/2 inch wide. And it doesn't have to be exact, folks. Just have some fun. And this one here, I'm still waiting. I'll use a pair of scissors on that anyway. Okay, so let's just kind of start to put some of this together. And I need my leaf to kind of tell me, you know, where I'm going to do, you know, because I don't want it all down here. I kind of want it, and I don't want it smack dab in the middle. No thanks. I'm going to kind of go right about there, I think. I think that'll be good. All right, so we're going to glue this one down. Okay, right about there. Okay, easy, easy. And then this one, I think, you know, I'm going to just kind of bring it right up and through like that. So I'm going to chop this one off with just a pair of scissors right in one of those lines. And to me, this is worth saving. And I haven't taken the stick out of it, so I can just kind of put it right back on the sticker sheet right in there. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of crisscross this one right through it. And it looks like I might need to take just a little bit more off. So let me just take off one extra. There we go. That'll be good. Of course, it's now stuck to me. Okay. Let me bring this over just a little bit more. You know, there's another good paper ribbon sticker, and I haven't used it yet. I haven't thought of what I want to do with it, but this one's fun too. So could kind of use that in the same way. let's glue this one on. Just like I did on that first card when I used one of these leaves, I'm just gonna glue kind of the center and let the leaves just kind of, if they pop up, they pop up. We'll just kind of let them have some freedom, and that will cause some natural, you know, it'll just kind of naturally give us some dimension. Then I think I want to come in with the word happy. And let's see, just kind of, you know, I'm not quite sure. Let's see. I think I'm going to come down with the happy because the butterfly is going to come up in there. So we're going to be, yeah, okay. But before I do it, I need to set this one down. So I'm going to do, let me do a glue dot on this one. Usually I would use like, you know, Stamp and Seal to kind of swipe across to be able to stick this down. But because I have this Dazzle paper, and this is kind of colliding in the way, I don't want to try and use my Seal Plus right there. So we'll just do a nice big glue dot like that. And we'll stick this guy right there and mush those linen fibers into the glue dot. And then bring this guy. Helps if I take all the backs off. This guy's going to come down just a little bit. I actually think I might have my linen thread in the wrong spot. Shoot, Queen. I do have it in the wrong spot. Okay, well, it's good to know that we can easily move it. And that glue dot is there. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just cover it up with other stuff that I know is coming. Oh, I'm like, where are my glue dots? They're in front of my face. Okay, we're just going to move this over to here. I think that's going to be a better spot. Oh, look how easy that came off. Thank you. That was good. Okay. Redo. Yeah, I just wanted, there we go. I really kind of wanted this more under the butterfly than under the word happy. Okay, so we're going to bring the word happy in here. Just kind of mush that in, and then our butterfly is going to come up in here. Oh, this is sweet. I like it. And here is Happy for You. We'll add this. And then we're going to come in and we're going to add some different flowers and things. And let's just kind of, you know, I could do it straight, but I kind of like it a little bit off, just a little. It's cute, you guys. Super sweet. And I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so I see a little more of it. And I actually think I'm going to pull on my linen thread tail. Yeah, and I made my loop just a little bit bigger. Okay, now let's see what we have in here flower-wise that we can add. Remember we had this lone flower here, so we can definitely add some things. And I have this one, you know, so maybe we're gonna go like here and, you know, maybe another one. Tuck it in there or tuck it down in here. That one's pretty little. I might do that one there. And how about, let's do a yellow. Kind of bring a little bit more yellow. So I'm still kind of looking at these two. If I change the angle, I can kind of bring this one, still kind of working in that triad. There we go, something like that and that. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And maybe I will keep this one flat. We'll keep that one flat and we'll put, we will put gems on those. I don't always put my gems on my flowers, but I'm in that kind of mood today. I guess I'm gonna do it that way. Okay, I'm trying to grab a dimensional here and having issues. Got it. I didn't want to come off the sheet. So I'm just bringing this one down. Okay, I just want to make sure that these two are definitely not in a line. That's just kind of me. I don't know, are you guys that way? Okay, so now let's look at this. Let's use these small jobbies on the flowers, or as my mom would say, the fleurs. And I'm going to use some big ones. I'm going to tuck and hide them in there. Okay, cute. Oh, Suzanne's popping on. Hello, Suzanne. So now maybe we'll hide some, and maybe we'll do 5 in total. Tuck another one right down in there. Cool. All right, I think it needs a little wink, especially here, right? And let me make sure that this butterfly is flying. And I'm going to Stella eyes, and then we'll, so I painted a little and I'm splattering a bunch. And this card, you guys, in real life is adorable. Happy for you. Cool. I like that one. Kind of fun. Different. Okay, I have one more to put together. And this one will do a pretty peacock base. Again, just keeping it where the score line was. We'll burnish that. And for this one, let's see. I'm going to use a couple cards here. A couple of the Memories and More, the 3x4 cards. And what I'm going to do with this one, I really like these flowers, but I don't want it to say lovely moments. And I'm just going to use a portion of the card. So I'm actually just going to kind of chop this right off. That's cool. You could use that for another something. But I want this little striped frame. And in that frame, I'm going to put the word sweet. Let's see. Here it is. Okay, remember that little stripe? Stick it down. Here's the word sweet that I want. Okay, and I am gonna run it through the embossing buddy, right? Because I want to raise it up. That's the name of the game with this, I think. Okay, I've got an extra little hanging piece, the little laser cut here. I'm just going to pop that out. Cool. And we'll put minis on the back of this one. The minis just barely fit. And I'll do one more to just kind of keep things level. Okay, and so this is going to go across the bottom right in here. And I'm going to kind of do it off to the side. Okay, just like that. So, and I'm not exactly sure where all of this is going just yet, but I wanted to put the word sweet on so that I knew how much I was covering up. So let's just kind of do, I'm going to do a dry run here of my layout. So that's how I'm going to start. I should have shown you the back of this card. It says good things. Great. What was the back of this one? Oh, it's just kind of a nice leaf pattern. So I'm going to do something like that. And then from the Friends for Life dies, remember I said there's kind of like this paint swoosh. So it's not a rectangle, but I thought it was just kind of cool. We'll do something like that. And I want to use the big butterfly. I have one left. And I've been saving it for this last card because this is such a great piece. And this is going to kind of come right in here. So you know what we're going to do? Can you guess? Hello. We are going to de-stickify, unstick, whatever we want to call it. We're going to embossing buddy. We're going to pat it all up. Blowing up in my face here. Let me get all the rosin. That's what's in these little packs is rosin, just like gymnasts or in a ballet studio. A little rosin for your feet. All right, so here goes. Just like I did on that last butterfly, I'm putting my dimensionals right where the body is because that's where it's going to stick. And then I'm going to flutter its wings. So we're going to have something that looks a little bit like so. I'm going to use the UR. Okay. And we'll, yes, de-stickify. think I got that one without even using the buddy with all the leftovers that are here on my piece of paper. Okay, what paper am I using? Suzanne, these are the Memories and More cards from the January to April mini catalog. I am using them up, so I have very little left over. By the time I finish these, I'll be able to make maybe 2 or 3 more cards. After that, I have no more. Okay, so my plan is to do, I'm going to put this one right there, right like that. That's going to go there. Oh, I used all my twine. I have blue, but I don't want blue. Oh, the blue's not so bad. Huh, who would have thought? I really wanted the other, like the yellow or the Flirty Flamingo, but there's actually blue in there. All right, well, maybe we're using blue. Didn't even know I was going to do it. And I didn't bring any linen thread out with me. I have my linen thread in a sugar shaker right now. It's very convenient. It just comes out the top little flap, you know, that you would have like in a diner. And that keeps it from getting all over the place. Okay, so this was just going to kind of go right in there. And then we're going to add gems, and that's going to be really cool. So the question of the hour is, are we going to dimensionalize? We're going to kind of do a little bit. We're going to put dimensionals on this layer. I had to remember where the top was on this. There is, you know, definitely an up down to the text. But I'm not getting right to the bottom because I need to be able to slide my my other piece in underneath there. And I don't think I'm going to raise that one up. I think I'm going to leave that one, I'm going to glue it down. So we have some, like it's stair steps, if you know what I mean. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to put that one right about there. This one here, we're going to glue underneath. Oh, nice big clump of glue. Holy moly. Hold on. The scraps from the garbage can here to kind of spread my glue out. A little bit of a catastrophe. Diverted. And now I'm going to slide this one underneath. Okay. Just like so. That looks good. Then this piece is going to glue on across. Now, do you need this die? Heavens no. You could just cut a strip of this paper, right? And be done. I am going to put a dimensional under there just to level that out. So when I need to level something like that out, here's what I do. I take my dimensional, so there's nothing on the back. Okay, nothing on the back, or I've peeled both backings are off. And then I put it on my hobby blade like that, and I just reach in. Tuck it in, kind of like a spatula. Okay, so now for my butterfly. Which this butterfly, before I put the twine on, I'm definitely going to put some Wink of Stella, right? Let's just go ahead, and I'm just going to color the whole thing. Why not? You could be more specific, but I was going to color the whole thing. Now, I will tell you, I got a little heavy right there. What I have found out with Wink of Stella, say you get it too heavy in a spot, wait for it to thoroughly dry, and then I'm going to give you an amazing tip. It's not that amazing. You might have heard me do it before. But once that's totally dry, okay, you can come in there where it's a little heavy. Is it dry? Yeah. And just take your adhesive remover, and it will take out, it will erase Wink of Stella, believe it or not. So I'm just removing just a little bit of it. I also feel like it could be a little lower. So, lift. Okay, and none of my dimensionals stuck. That's okay. I can redo them or I can glue. I just want it to be a little closer to my greeting. I feel like it's just a little too far. So maybe we'll go there like that. And you know what? Maybe I will glue instead of dimensional because it's already on dimensionals. Holy moly. This is one of those glue days where it hasn't moved. You know, it's been stuck in the tube and now it's all gushing. Okay. This is better. I feel like it's just a little bit more connected to my greeting. Okay, so we'll just glue that body, lay that down. I'll get that to set up. I can always pull the wings up in just a second here once I kind of let that dry. Okay, and my bow is just a little big, so I'm going to tighten it up a skosh. And I'll make my, I like long tails, but that's a little too long. Okay. And so that will go right in there. We'll kind of pop that up. And then look, we could use, there's pretty peacock pearls on there. There are Lost Lagoon pearls there. And then in this one that I've been using up, look at how pretty these are. Maybe we'll use these. And let's see, they're kind of big, but let's see what we can do here. Oh, we got to get this straight. Straighten out. There we go. So maybe we do one kind of hiding here. And let's see. Maybe one kind of hiding up in there. And maybe a third. Kind of don't want it to show too much. Who knows? Maybe we just do 2. Who says it has to be 3? Oh, that one's kind of nice. Kind of hiding right back in there. Okay, it's subtle. You see it in there? Looks good in real life. You'll have to make some for yourself so you know that it does look good. Okay, let's glue dot the knot of our twine here. We'll just kind of reach this one. Am I going to reach it in or am I going to stick it on the twine? Who knows? Okay. Maybe we'll get it in here. Cute. Get rid of that. Make sure that this is really sticking and that it's at the angle that I want it so that it doesn't, because I kind of want it to be, if the butterfly is kind of cockeyed, I want the words to be straight though with the "You are sweet." So super, it took us a minute to get there, but it's still pretty clean and simple and straightforward. So there you have it, folks. 6 cards in an hour and a half. Not too bad for me. Here was one of them, the one we just did. And another one, super cute. My favorite one, I don't know why that is so cute, but it is. And then we have this one. I'm going to play with those flowers a little bit. Here's another pretty simple one. And then we started with this one as well. There's the envelopes that match these cards, right? And I have all those envelopes. I also have some more to show you. So these are the ones we did today, using up stuff from the kit. But I have some I made at a group meeting here in the Boise area. So we've got one here. So this one is also on a card base. Instead, it's on a hot dog style card base. So instead of 8.5 by 11, it's 4 1/4 by 11. 8.5 by 5.5. This is 4 1/4 by 11. So here is an entire card, and we cut some of it off. We cut the end off, right? And just moved it to the inside because this is a 4 by 6. And so we took a 1/2 inch off, and there it is. Here's another one, just really, really easy. Okay. It's on Pretty Peacock. We've got just some layers in there. Super simple. Here's another simple one. Okay. Now this one isn't the sticker. This one's a card. So, and this was a card that we cut down. I love this one. It's that giant butterfly. It's so graphic. It's cool. This one also has some nice splatters on the paper. Again, this is hot dog style. That's a good one. Here's this one. We've used those leaves that are you've got these cool leaves. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, so it was on this sticker sheet here. Whoops, this flower came off. I could use that somewhere. Anyhow, there were 4 of those leaves there. And here's another one. This is a card. So this is one of the cards. But look how it looks great with the embossing folder. It's the Country Florals folder. And then here's another one I did a while back using the card bases and one of those big butterflies. But yeah, there's fun stuff here to make and have some fun using up your card, your Memories and More card bases and your cards and envelopes, your cards and envelopes and your Memories and More card pack. So there is a new Memories and More card pack in the annual catalog. It is cut in half and it doesn't have any sticker sheets. And it's the sticker sheets that I find the most inspiring. So anyhow, so there are some samples for you. And then of course I will photograph these and get these all posted for you to see later on. All right. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, tomorrow is the last day to register for Country Woods. For those of you who are in my downline, you will be receiving a PDF version of this camp and the invitation to all the events. But the PDF will give you all the measurements if you want to cut your own packs. So don't be shy. Ask questions if you have questions about this camp. Tomorrow is the last day to register. I will see you guys Friday at the opening day of our Country Woods camp. Thanks for jumping in and sharing your comments today and for being here. I will catch you soon. Bye-bye.